Buenos dias, soy Timoteo. Good morning. I'm the Reverend Tim Kutzmark, and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church in Fresno, California. Yay! La misión de la Iglesia Unitaria Universalista de Fresno es amar inclusivamente, crecer espiritualmente, servir con gratitud y trabajar por la justicia. The mission of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Fresno is to love inclusively, grow spiritually, serve gratefully, and work for justice. I am so glad you're joining us here for worship because I know you could have been any place this morning, any number of places you could be watching, any number of live streaming worship services from anywhere in the country, but you chose to be with us. Muchos gracias. I'm very grateful. If you haven't already done it, please make us your friend on Facebook. Share this live stream with all of your Facebook friends. We are going to be coming back in about 3 minutes for the actual start of the service. But Marie Claudia, I'm noticing that you're eating breakfast and it looks so good. You're having huevos fritos, fried eggs for breakfast. So do you mind if I just reach into the screen and take a taste?
Buenos dias. Good morning, everybody. I'm Carrie Gordon. You may know me from First Sunday Lunches or as a former advisor for our high school youth group. I'm also the proud mom to my son, Caleb, who is now a member of that same youth group. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Fresno, California. Today's service is entitled Natural Mysticism, How the Transcendentalists Brought Us Back to Earth. We are very different from most of the congregations here in Fresno and the Central Valley. Very different. Unitarian Universalism offers a heartfelt welcome to everyone, whoever we are, whatever we are, wherever we are in our journey. We bid you welcome. Lesbian, gay, trans, bi, non-binary, young, old, or in between. With or without documentation, you are welcome. We welcome every race, culture, origin, and religious background. We welcome you no matter your level of education or how much you have in your bank account. Todos son bienvenidos aquí. We like to say that love is the doctrine of this church and service is prayer. The 7 principles of the Unitarian Universalism articulate what we believe love requires of us. If you aren't familiar with those 7 principles, just Google UU 7 principles and you'll see the core spiritual values that guide Unitarian Universalists. If you have any questions about our church and how you can get involved or become a member, just email connections@uufresno.org. That's connections@uufresno.org. If we are meeting in person in the sanctuary, this is the time we would say good morning and shake hands. For this morning, if you are with others in the room, take a moment and say good morning to them. If you are watching alone, know you're not actually alone. For we are all connected right now in the spiritual sanctuary of love and caring. So give a wave to your computer or smartphone and know that everyone is waving right back at you. Hi! Now, here's Reverend Tim to begin our service.
Thank you so much, Carrie. It was so wonderful to have your warm, smiling face welcome us to worship this morning. I still remember that generous act of serving gratefully that you offered our high school students when you served as a chaperone when our youth group went to New Orleans for our national annual General Assembly. You made sure that our high school youth were safe, you made sure they were well fed, and you brought them back home again. So for that act of generous service, muchas gracias. And now, dear ones, as the Riley family prepares to welcome us into their home and light our chalice to begin the service, please let the sacred sound of the tingsha invite you into that quiet, still, and wise place within.
Hi, I'm Key. I'm here with my parents, Dana and Larry. Welcome to our home. We are grateful to be able to be with you all this morning as we begin our service.
On Sunday mornings all over the world, Unitarian Universalists will be lighting a flame in an open chalice as a symbol of our faith. For us, the flame represents the light of reason, the warmth of community, and the fire of commitment.
For us, the chalice represents our open minds, ready to use reason to help figure out the world, our open hearts, ready to care for each other, and our open hands, ready to work for justice.
I hope you'll join us this morning in lighting a chalice or candle of your own. As we begin this morning's service, please join Lorenzo in our song of praise, Morning Has Broken.
Morning has broken like the first morning. Blackbird has spoken like the first bird. Praise for the singing, praise for the morning, praise for the springing fresh from the world. Surge l'aurora, qual la primera, canta l'aurata, voz inicial. L'ora al canto, l'ora all'alba, via su principio trascendental. Sweet the rain's new fall, sunlit from heaven. first wrath. Praise for the sweetness of the wet garden, sprung in completeness where our feet pass. Mine is the sunlight, mine is the morning, born of the one light Eden saw play. Praise with elation, praise every morning, love's recreation of the new day.
Hola, soy Danny. Howdy everybody, Danny here. And today for our Time for All Ages, I'd like to share with you a story about a little boy who would grow up to be a Unitarian minister. When Theodore was 3 years old, almost 4, he started walking to work with his dad every morning. His dad worked on the farm just down the road from the house. Every day, they would walk past the roosters going cook-a-doodle-doo, and the cows going moo, and the sheep going baa. And they'd continue on their way, do all the chores, and then walk back home. Well, one day, they walked past the cows, they walked past the chickens, but when they got to the sheep, they stopped and they paused. And Theodore's father started to examine the sheep. Theodore watched his father for a while, but soon he got bored and he took out a stick and wrote his name in the dirt, looked up at his dad, who was still looking at the sheep. He found a really big boulder and he climbed on top of it and he looked all around the farm like an explorer and saw his dad still looking at the sheep. He walked over to his father. "Dad, I'm bored. Can I go home?" Theodore's father looked at him and said, "I have to finish tending to the sheep." Theodore stood up as tall as he could, looking all of his 3, almost 4 years old, and said, "I know the way home. I can walk by on my own." Theodore's dad looked up at the sky. The sun was setting, but a full moon was rising. In his head, he thought it wasn't a very long path. "Are you sure, Theodore? The path can be kind of crooked." "I won't get lost," Theodore said. "Okay," said his father. "Just go straight home." And off Theodore went along the path, the full moon lighting his way. As he walked, he passed a pond. And he looked over at the pond. He saw frogs and birds and bugs. But the thing that caught his eye was the single turtle sitting on the stone, basking in the moonlight. Theodore picked up a stick. He'd seen other boys chase after animals with sticks before, and frogs and birds, but he was always too small or too slow to catch them. But this turtle, bathing in the moonlight, he could catch it. He lifted his stick, and just when he was about to bring the stick down, he heard a voice say, "That's wrong!" Theodore looked around. "Wrong!" the voice said. Theodore didn't see his brothers or his sisters or his mom or his dad. He didn't know where the voice came from. He was scared and he ran straight home into his mother's arms. He looked at his mother. "Where did the voice come from, Mama?" he asked. She looked at him. "Oh, my little boy, my little light of heaven. Some people call that your conscience. I like to think of it as the voice of God." "The voice of God?" Theodore asked her. "Yes. It's the voice that tells you from deep inside what's right and what's wrong. And as long as you listen to that voice, you'll always know what's the right decision to make." Theodore took his mother's words to heart. He spent his whole life listening to that voice still and small inside him, that voice of his conscience. It's the voice that taught him that slavery was bad, and earned him the nickname of the Yankee Crusader because he was an abolitionist who fought to end slavery even when it was dangerous and people made threats against him. He never stopped fighting for what was right. And he taught us and continues to teach us that we need to not only believe in our ideas, but also act on them. Now, we go to Merlinda Espinosa for a beautiful rendition of Noche Azul.
Una noche azul, la luna solitaria bañaba todo el cielo con su luz. Y esa noche azul, tus ojos me encargaron que cuidara para siempre a tu corazón. Es como la luz del cielo que alumbras el camino para mí. Eres la fuerza tan tremenda de mi amor. Y yo guardo el secreto de tus ojos para seguirnos queriendo Eres como la luz del cielo que alumbras el camino para mí. Eres la fuerza tan tremenda de mi amor. Y yo guardo el secreto de tus ojos para seguirnos queriendo
Hi everyone, it's Key again. Today's service is entitled Natural Mysticism, How the Transcendentalists Brought Us Back to Earth. Reverend Tim will have more to say about that in just a little bit. But first, I want to share a video with you that captures perfectly the idea that we have a profound and wonderful experience just by simply noticing the natural world around us. That's what natural mysticism is all about. It isn't magic or make-believe. It's about opening our hearts and minds to wonder and awe, and allowing ourselves to be transformed, both emotionally and spiritually. In 2010, Paul Vasquez posted a video on a new social media platform called YouTube. That video, as some of you may remember, became one of YouTube's earliest viral sensations. That video also made Paul Vasquez a worldwide phenomenon, known as the Double Rainbow Guy. His video has now been viewed by over 500 million people. As NPR reported last week, his 3.5-minute video captured a pair of rainbows outside of his home near Yosemite National Park. His sense of wonder added to that scene. At one point he shouted, "What does it all mean?" Like Henry David Thoreau, our Unitarian forebear, Paul Vasquez went to the woods because he wished to live deliberately, to friend only the essential facts of life, and to see if he could not learn what it had to teach, and not, when he came to die, discover that he had not lived. CNN reported that Paul Vasquez lived simply. He sheltered on the side of a mountain outside Yosemite, grew his own food, and woke up every morning to one of the most magnificent views in California. Unfortunately, Paul Vasquez died 2 weeks ago, at the age of 57. The Mariposa County Coroner's Office confirmed his death on May 9th. His gift to us, his cries of exaltation at a double rainbow, is one of the world's most joyful and visible examples of natural mysticism. Let's now enter into Paul Vasquez's 3.5 minutes of wonder and awe.
Whoa, that's a full rainbow. All the way. Double rainbow. Oh my God. It's a double rainbow all the way. Whoa, that's so intense. Whoa, man. Wow. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Woo! Oh wow! Woo! Yeah! Oh my! Oh my! Oh my God! Look at that! It's starting to even look like a triple rainbow. Oh my God, it's full on double rainbow all the way across the sky. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh God. What does this mean? Oh my God. Oh God. It's so bright. Oh my God, it's so bright and vivid. Oh! It's so beautiful. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God, it's a double complete rainbow. Oh my front yard. Oh my God. Oh my God, what does it mean? Help me. Too much. Tell me what it means. Oh my God. It's so intense. Oh. Oh my God.
Although he has passed into the mysteries of death, let's keep Paul Vasquez's natural mysticism alive by singing together The Rainbow Connection from the Muppet movie.
Why are there so many songs about rainbows, and what's on the other side? Rainbows are visions, but only illusions, and rainbows have nothing to hide. So we've been told, and some choose to believe it. I know they're wrong, wait and see.
Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. Who said that every wish would be heard and answered when wished on the morning star? Somebody thought of that, and someone believed it, and look what it's done so far. What's so amazing that keeps us stargazing, and what do we think we might see? Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. All of us under its spell. We know that it's probably magic. Have you been half asleep? And have you heard voices? I've heard them calling my name. Is this the sweet sound that calls the young sailors? The voice might be one and the same. I've heard it too many times to ignore it. It's something that I'm supposed to be. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. La 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 la.
You gotta love a religion that lets you sing a song first crooned by a frog. Gotta love Unitarian Universalism. The most spectacular rainbow I've ever seen was out in the desert near Ghost Ranch, New Mexico, that place that Georgia O'Keeffe made famous with her paintings. It was late afternoon. I'd been watching those ominous clouds moving quickly across the landscape, but no threat of rain could stop me from savoring the last day of hiking in that spectacular spiritual place. Let the rain come down, let it fill the sand and drench the ground all around. I kept hiking. I kept hiking even as clouds swallowed the sun. But I hadn't expected the fury of the wind and the force of the water as that storm broke over me. Within seconds, I was soaked and exposed on those red rocks as lightning cracked the sky. As quickly as it started, it was over. And the horizon broke open with a rainbow that had colors so vivid, so clear, that it made me gasp. If you've ever had a similar experience with a storm or a rainbow, in the comment box, type the letter S for storm and R for rainbow. Did you know that rainbows have long had spiritual significance in most of the world's religions? According to a dictionary of symbols, most religions teach that rainbows are pathways between heaven and earth. They're bridges used by the gods and goddesses, heroes and heroines, when they travel from this earth to the transcendental realm. The Japanese Buddhist tradition calls rainbows floating bridge of heaven. I love that, floating bridge of heaven. And it's a 7-colored staircase down which the Buddha walks to return to earth. In Mongolian shamanism, the rainbow carries the shaman up into the place of healing and vision. Central African pygmies believe rainbows are messages from the heavens and can be read like a translucent scripture. Although rainbows hold meaning for most religions, I like to think that Unitarian Universalism is the rainbow of religions. Let me explain. Unitarian Universalism is a pathway between different spiritual beliefs. Unitarian Universalism is a bridge between different ways of making meaning in life. Unitarian Universalism links together all those differences and creates one comprehensive, coherent, cohesive whole. Unitarian Universalism teaches that we do not need to believe alike to love alike. Could you say that with me? We need not believe alike to love alike. And one more time. We need not believe alike to love alike. That's why a Unitarian Universalist, or as we like to say in shorthand, a UU, that's why a UU who is a devout believer in God can sit next to a UU humanist for whom the idea of divinity has no meaning. That's why a UU earth-based pagan can enjoy social hour with a UU agnostic who claims neither faith nor disbelief in a divinity. That's why a UU who practices Buddhism can sing the same hymn as a UU ex-Mormon who still reads the Bible daily. In Unitarian Universalism, we believe that wisdom and inspiration come from many sources. We don't claim that one specific path or one certain revelation is superior to another. What we do is challenge each other to discover a spiritual life that is authentic to ourselves. We need not believe alike to love alike. As Unitarian Universalists, what unifies us is love. As Unitarian Universalists, what unifies us is the behavior and practices love calls us to manifest in our lives and in the world. This was not always the case. The bright and beautiful rainbow that is today's Unitarian Universalism was once monochromatic. Unitarian Universalism traces our roots back to Judaism and to the specific teachings and stories of a Jewish itinerant preacher by the name of Jesus of Nazareth. Our Unitarian and Universalist forebears looked at Jesus as a peerless spiritual teacher and social revolutionary. But unlike the majority of mainstream Christians, our Unitarian Universalist forebears never took Jesus of Nazareth and turned him into Jesus Christ. They never looked at Jesus as divine. He was just a guy, a human being, like the rest of us, only enlightened. If that concept of Jesus has resonance with you, could you type the letter H for human in the comment box? So, although Unitarians and Universalists didn't think and believe the things that mainstream Christianity thought and believed, they still considered themselves authentically Christian. Our Unitarian Universalist forebears were biblically based. They read Jewish and Christian scriptures and used them as the sole source of wisdom and revelation. If you stepped back into a Unitarian or Universalist congregation 1,500 years ago, 1,000 years ago, 500 years ago, 200 years ago, even 184 years ago, you would have heard readings and preachings based on the Bible. But all that exploded into a bright and bold, multicolored prism of possibility when, in the late 1830s through 1860s, the American Transcendentalist movement was born. The place was Boston, Cambridge, and Concord, Massachusetts. For whatever reason, now atheists would say it was the hand of God, a humanist would say it was the hand of education. But for whatever reason, at that moment, at that place, there came together the greatest collection of the greatest literary, philosophical, religious, and spiritual minds that America had ever seen. In this transcendentalist flowering, in one place, in one time, we had Ralph Waldo Emerson, Margaret Fuller, Henry David Thoreau, Louisa May Alcott, Samuel Longfellow, Elizabeth Peabody, Walt Whitman, Theodore Parker, Lydia Marie Child, Ellen Sturgis Hooper, Julia Ward Howe, Emily Dickinson, Unitarians all. Collectively, they took traditional Unitarian Universalist beliefs and tossed in some spiritual dynamite. They read, studied, and discussed texts from the world's religions: Hinduism, Buddhism, Taoism, Shintoism, Confucianism, Sikhism, Islam, and so much more. They realized that different religions had different pieces of a much larger, more colorful spiritual mosaic. They discovered that underneath the various forms of religion, there existed an undergirding, universal spirit of life, or fuente de amor, that was the source and sustainer of all. There was, they taught, a unifying oneness and energy in all things, human and non-human. Without discarding the teachings of Jesus, they broadened Unitarian Universalism to encompass much more, freeing us from the confines of one specific book and one specific path. If you think that's pretty amazing, could you press A for amazing in the comment box? But even more radically, they said you don't need any scripture from any source in order to have a direct and authentic experience of the divine. Divinity, they said, is alive everywhere and in everything. Watching a flower dance in the breeze can be a religious experience. Looking at a sunset can be a religious experience. A double rainbow in the sky can be a religious experience. This is called natural mysticism, opening our hearts and minds to wonder and awe, allowing ourselves to be transformed emotionally and spiritually. This amazing group of thinkers and feelers and experiencers called themselves Transcendentalists. They taught a delicious paradox. The transcendent, that which goes beyond the ordinary physical realm, was actually found in the ordinary physical realm. It was our awareness of it, experience of it, our relationship with it that transformed it into the transcendental. Perhaps the most well-known words of natural mysticism were penned by Ralph Waldo Emerson, who, along with Margaret Fuller, were the foundation upon which this new belief system rested. Emerson wrote, "In the woods, we return to reason and faith. There, I feel that nothing can befall me in life, no disgrace, no calamity, which nature cannot repair. Standing on the bare ground, my head bathed by the blithe air and uplifted into infinite space, all mean egotism vanishes. I become a transparent eyeball. I am nothing. I see all. The currents of the universal being circulate through me. I am part or particle of God." Ralph Waldo Emerson continued, "Within us is the soul of the whole, the wise silence, the universal beauty, to which every part and particle is equally related, the Eternal One. And this deep power in which we exist and whose beatitude is all accessible to us is not only self-sufficing and perfect in every hour, but the act of seeing and the thing seen, the seer and the spectacle, the subject and the object are one. We see the world piece by piece, as the sun, the moon, the animal, the tree, but the whole of which these are shining parts is the soul. Language cannot paint it with colors. It is too subtle. It is undefinable, unmeasurable. But we know that it pervades and contains us. Language cannot paint it with its colors. It is too subtle, too undefinable, unmeasurable. But we know that it pervades and contains us. Wow. Wow. If that amazes you, press an exclamation point in the comment box. My spiritual friends, Margaret Fuller, Henry David Thoreau, Louisa Alcott, Ralph Waldo Emerson, and so many other Transcendentalists took a Unitarian and Universalism that was still focused on heaven and brought us down to earth. They took a religion based on biblical miracles and brought us the miracles of rain and rainbows. May we join those Transcendentalists as we wake now our senses and hear the earth call, feel the deep power of being in all. Keep with the web of creation our vow, giving, receiving, as love shows us how.
what you're doing. Keep your eye on that dark cloud in the sky. The rain is coming, and when it rains, it pours. But don't let it stop you from what you're fighting for. Let the rain come down, let it feel the sand, drench the ground all around. Let the rain come down, let it pour over me. I'm gonna stand on my own ground. Time keeps passing by. I'm just waiting for things to go right. I'm waiting for a chance to see the clear blue sky. So go on and let the storm run. I'm ready to fight through the night. Let the rain come down, over me. I'm gonna stand on my own ground. Let the rain come down, let it fill the sand, drench the ground all around. Let the rain come down, down. And as low as down as I may be, I can see the path to be. My strength lies deep within my soul. I plant my feet, I'm ready to go right through the night into the day. I'm ready to fight anyway. Oh, and as low as down as I may be, I can see the path to be. My strength lies deep within my soul. I plant my feet, I'm ready to go right through the night into the day. I'm ready to fight anyway. Ooh. So go on and let the storm run. I'm ready to fight through the night. Let the rain come down, let it fill the sand. I'm gonna stand on my own ground. Let the rain come down, let it pour over me. I'm gonna stand on my own ground. I'm gonna stand on my own ground. The rain stops and falls on the window pane. Everything is still. The sun rises.
Hi there. Remember me? Well, it's been a long time since we've been together, hasn't it? I'm Bill Murphy. I'm sort of a fixture around here. Carolyn and I have been members of the congregation for more than 50 years. Right now, I'm sitting out in my tomato patch in the backyard, which is next door to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Fresno. It's right over there. You can see it behind me. It's just a different view than you normally see. Now, these tomatoes are really something. As long as you nurture them, they'll grow and provide you with a lot of tasty treats. But it's up to you to keep them alive and growing. Sort of like the church, isn't it? Which provides sustenance of another sort. I'm one of the ushers, and about this time in the service, we usually bring the baskets and pass them down the rows. And you folks provide the cash that's needed to keep the church alive and growing. Today I'm simply asking for your donations for our church. You can use Cash App or PayPal, your credit card, or text, a slide will appear with information. But right now, I would like you to join me in repeating the words of the offering. If not us, then who? If not open hearts, then what? If not now, then when? If not here, then where? If not generously, then how? If not us, then who? Thanks for saying yes. Good to see you again. Bye-bye.
Welcome back to the Riley household.
I'm Dana, this is Larry, and you already know Key.
It really was awesome to be here with you all today. This shared time reminds us that we are still connected in our church community of caring and hope.
As we prepare to end our service and enter into the afternoon, please join us in our chalice extinguishing words.
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts.
Extinguimos esta llama, pero no la luz de la verdad, el calor de comunidad o el fuego de nuestro compromiso. Estos los llevaremos en el corazón.
Thank you for joining us in our home this morning. We hope to see you all next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you to La Familia de Riley, to the Riley family, Key, Dana, Larry. Muchas gracias for taking us and inviting us into your homes today. I'd also like to say a thank you to Linda Tolliday for working behind the scenes, getting pictures, images, lyrics, and a big thank you to Jeremiah Henry, who spends hours and hours and hours behind the scenes making this service come together so smoothly. So if you want to say a big thank you to Jeremiah, just press the letter J, maybe even twice or 3 times in the comment box. Take a moment, would you, and just notice and behold your human hands that have held so much, that have released so much, that have cared so much and offered kindness, hands that have worked for justice. Take those precious human hands, gently place them over your heart. Go now in peace. May you leave this place knowing you are good and knowing you are loved. Take your love, share it with the world. Stay safe until we meet again. And may the longtime sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and that pure light that is within you guide your way on. May it be so. Blessed be. Amen.
Go from here in peace, go with love. Go from here in peace, go with love. Go from here in peace, go with love. In love, go in peace. Shalom and assalamu alaikum. Born a poor young country boy, Mother Nature's son. All day long I sit and sing songs for everyone. pretty sound of music as she flies. Find me in my field of grass, Mother Nature's son, swaying daisies, sitting lazy song beneath the sun. Born a poor young country boy, Mother Nature's son. All day long I'm sitting singing songs for everyone. Ooh, Mother Nature's